So now let's look at circuits using electric motors. If we compare them first of all to something we already know, a light bulb, a buzzer and an electric motor, then all three have something in common. When we make electricity flow through them, so flow into the lamp, out through the other end, into the buzzer, out through the other end, into the motor, out through the other connection there, then something happens in the world, and light would be produced when a light bulb has electricity travelling through it. Sound is produced when a buzzer operates, and motion is produced. And the motion is by this little spinning axle, sometimes called a spindle. Motion is produced when electricity flows in an electric motor. Because they're actually sort of giving something out, light, sound or motion, they're quite often called output devices. Whereas a switch would be used to control these output devices. A switch could be called a control device. So it's useful to know which output device we need to do a particular job. So when we design a circuit, we'll know, should we choose a buzzer to do this? Should we choose a light bulb, or should we choose a motor? There are other possibilities as well. So let's look at our motor. In order to join a motor into a circuit, we've got to be able to attach wires to it, and the wires are attached to these two terminals, as they're called, at the back. So the axle or spindle is at the front, and the little wire connections are made at the back. So with this one, what I've already done is join wires, just as we do a normal sort of light bulb for a technology project. I've joined two wires, and those wires lead back, look, and there's the bare part there and the bare part there where we can connect them to our circuits. In order that we can see things happening, I've fitted a little cylinder on the end. That's often called a hub, and a hub's fabulous for adding a wheel. So the idea is we can now make things happen and perhaps design some real projects. Now, because that's just lying around and would roll about, we've got a foam block, and what we're going to do is I've got a little scissor cut there, so it's opened up especially for the wire. I'm going to push the motor in and line up that wire with the little scissor cut. There it goes. And now it supports it upright. We can pop the wheel on if we want later on, and now we've got a way of joining it to our circuit. So let's bring in the circuit. So what we've got is our normal cell or battery and the two wires. We've got a switch ready, which is just a paperclip switch. I prefer to use paperclip switches because you've got more control. So it's only while you're testing it you can keep your finger on it, then take your finger off and it turns off straight away. So it's very easy to operate. So let's join up our little circuit. There it goes there. Now, how are we going to do this? The motor in this one here. Well, let's get a short wire and we'll do that connection there. So this simple circuit should allow us to control the motor by turning it on and off by the press of a switch. So if we just have a look. Now the thing spins so quickly you might not be able to see it spin. So what we'll do is we'll put a little red mark on it to start with, just so that gives you the idea of the motion. And now we'll pop the wheel on. There it goes. Got to be careful not to push the whole thing down, otherwise the wheel could end up squashing in against everything. You've got to check that it spins by hand first. Now let's go back to it. Let's continue that red line, look. You can easily stick a piece of cardboard on top of this now and come up with all sorts of inventions. Let's give it a go. Uh-oh. Does the wire come off? No. There it goes. It's going so quickly we can't even see that red colour. So we'll think of some ideas for projects related to this, but let's just clear one thing up, look. Just like a bulb and a buzzer have a symbol, then a motor has a symbol, so there it is there. And we should be able by now to be able to draw our circuits. So the circuit diagram for this could be represented like that. So there's our switch, there's our cell, the connecting wires or conductors, and there's our electric motor.